Hello, this is Vlad here. In the previous lesson, we went through how to make a new file. In lesson 4, we'll go through how to save and open files and what formats we should choose when doing so. We'll first start with making a new file. The settings don't matter at this point, so we'll click OK. And we'll go through saving. So we'll choose the first options. Save. And you can press Ctrl S or Command S if you're on a Mac in order to save a file. And we'll go to the project folder and choose a name. First, let's say lesson 4. Then we'll go to the format. As you can see, we got different formats here. So let's choose the first one, which is the default, called Adobe Illustrator .ai. Click Save. And we got a couple of options here. The first one we see is choosing a compatibility version. We got from Illustrator CC, which is the latest. Most likely many of you will be using CS5 or CS6. So during the course you should be aware that some things I will show you will not be available in previous versions, since Adobe changed the subscription plan. Now we'll leave it to Illustrator CC. You can choose your own. Or maybe if your client requires it, you can choose a specific format. Then you can choose how fonts are displayed. If we make this PDF compatible file, this means Adobe Reader and others can open the file. But be wary that the size will double, since the file has to contain both the PDF version and the Illustrator version. You can choose to embed ICC profiles, use compression, which is usually a good idea. In case we have multiple artboards, we can save to a separate file and choose a range. For transparency, we can choose to preserve paths or discard transparency, preserve appearance and overprints. This is for print-related tasks, you probably have noticed. Then how and what resolution we should choose, or maybe use a custom one. In latest versions, we can see that only fonts with appropriate permission bits will be embedded. So that means that CC has the option to embed the fonts and package the files, so you don't have to go to different folders, files, and do it yourself. Okay, that's for AI options, so click OK. And there we go. We'll go again with Save As this time, which will make a different version. And we'll choose PDF. We'll click OK. You are most likely aware of the PDF format. Most ebooks these days use it, apart from the EPUB format. And very popular. So let's go through the settings. You can choose here how much should be compressed and the level of quality. Then we can go through the compatibility, like Adobe 6, 7, 8. The default is 6. You can choose your own, of course. You can also choose to save PDF settings. And you can choose a standard. This depends on what you or your client wants. Usually I leave it a default, but might be different for you. Then Adobe shows you a description of what's going on. So if you want to open the PDF file and edit further in Illustrator, you should left this option checked. Of course, this is just as preserve in the AI file, so it will double the size of the file. You can choose to embed page thumbnails, optimize for fast web view. This should be enabled. If you want to view the PDF after saving, or create Acrobat layers from top level layers. Then you can choose how to compress. You can downsample, and you have different methods of doing that. This will lower the quality of your images in the file. So if you prepare for print jobs, that's usually not a good idea to lower the quality of images. You can choose if you want to compress a zip or maybe as image. If you want to compress grayscale images instead of color ones or monochrome, you can choose to compress text and line art as well. This option is usually for printing, as I explained in making a new file, what's a bleed. Then you can choose to color convert if you want to include profiles and so on. This is again same as AI file format. You can choose this option. If you want to encrypt your document, that you require a password to open the document, use a password, or maybe a summary where you can see all your changes and save it. And for now we'll click cancel because we don't want that. We'll go again and look at EPS format. This is pretty simple. You got TIFF format, what you want. If you want transparent or opaque, if you want to embed the fonts, if you want to use semi-AK PostScript in RGB files, link files. Those options are usually disabled now because we don't have any images that we pasted in and we didn't embed. And we can choose the language level for PostScript and so on. The next option is Illustrator template. This will just save a template and you can open it later. It will just have the same options as you drawing in with the colors and everything you made. The next one is SVG and SVG compressed. Okay, so let's click save. And SVG is open source format for vector. You can see you got multiple options: tiny, basic, tiny. Most browsers these days renders SVGs, so you shouldn't worry. This is a good way to save space on a website. So instead of using like 1 megabyte file, you can use maybe a few kilobits file. The vector format is always smaller in most cases. That's a little more complicated, but you'll usually deal with smaller sizes. Now, for fonts, you can choose how to embed and what options you want, like English. So if you want to embed the image or link it, if you want to preserve the Illustrator capabilities, you can choose more options, like CSS options. You include slicing, the encoding, and you can also see the SVG code. Now it's empty. This is just the default header for the SVG. So because obviously we didn't got any, and that's all. That's it. We ran through all the formats, and now you got a basic idea of what's going on. As for when to use the formats, usually most people will request either AI or EPS, but if you want for web, you can also use SVGs. And if you want to deliver a demo of a project for a client, you should deliver as a PDF in order to protect your work and be paid for it. Okay, that's it. Thank you and see you in lesson 5.